I'm not sure what day I'm on because I've taken a couple of days off, and so I'm not sure. I'll have to figure that out. I have taken a couple of days off because I felt like I was getting so much every day. And life also is just very full right now, and I felt like I didn't have the time and space to like integrate all of this information. So it was just kind of like sitting there, and I just felt like I needed to take a couple of days to reflect and be real intentional about going back and looking at all of this stuff, and really feeling into how I can more integrate that into my daily existence. And so during that time, as I'm reflecting back on things, I decided to start uploading them on YouTube. So I'm sharing them publicly, which is frightening, but I'm doing it. Anyway, I had a meditation with one of my meditation groups yesterday, and I showed up, even though I have both the kids with me. In fact, Noah was sick, and so he couldn't help with Bodhi, and Bodhi, is Bodhi. And however, the last meditation experience that I had with this specific group was so powerful. It was one of the most powerful experiences that I've had in a meditation. And during that time, I had to get up to get Bodes a snack. Another time I had to get up to change his diaper. He came and wanted me to read to him. And this is all in, I think it was a pretty short minute, like 30 minutes or something. So despite all that in and out and having to like come back and try and reconnect with things, it was a guided meditation. It was incredible. And so I had this conversation with the people I'm doing the meditation with. I said, this is why my camera's going to be off. I'm going to be muted. And we talked about it at once the meditation was over, and we shared our experience, and everyone was super supportive, and said often that that's part of the experience, right? Like being able to be in two worlds at once, or at least walk between the worlds with ease, is like a gift of motherhood. So anyway, that is why, despite things not being super great circumstance wise for me to show up and do a meditation, I did it anyway. And I let them know in the chat box, like, this is what's going on. I'm again going to be muted, camera off. And so people are just kind of getting onto the call and chit-chatting back and forth, and I'd been in and out with my headphones, just trying to get Bodhi taken care of. And at one point I put my headphones on, and they say, "And what about you, Melissa? Keeping in mind that you're muted." I was like, oh crap, I wasn't sure what was going on. So I said, I'm sorry, I did mention in the chat box that I'm gonna be with the kids, but I'm doing my best, and I didn't hear the question. And she said, "Oh, just how are you?" I was like, oh, whew, that's an easy one. I'm good. I'm great. Things are great. This is what's going on. This is what's going on with my practice, and I've taken a couple of days off. Because I'm wanting to better integrate the information, and it all just feels too full for me right now. And so that was it, and I'm gonna go mute myself again. And she says, "Why is that? Why do you think you need time to do that?" I was like, oh, okay, well, and shared kind of what I shared in the beginning of this video, right? Like, it's just a lot. And she says, "Well, basically that I'm putting myself in that circumstance. I'm keeping myself on the hamster wheel. There's no way I'm going to get off that hamster wheel until I make a decision to get off. And as long as I'm living in this illusion that I need time and space, then all of that stuff will always be unreachable. All of those lessons will always be unreachable to me. And I mean, what the fuck? I just thought she wanted to know how I was doing. And like I said, great. I don't have a problem. Like, I did not have a problem with taking these 2 days off. I was actually, really enjoying it. It was working for me. And so I was just kind of taken aback. Like, I didn't ask for advice. I didn't say I do not feel like I'm on a hamster wheel. That's for sure. And so, I'm just like, what the hell? I'm okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And some of it did make sense. So I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. I get it. Because I'm going to get up. I'm going to mute myself, get up and get my kid a snack. And she goes, well, why is there disbelief? Or I hear disbelief in your voice. And it wasn't just, some of the stuff, yeah. But, I do believe that so much of life is mindset and making that decision. And at this point, I'm feeling spiky. I'm feeling tramped upon. I'm getting this unsolicited coaching on a life event that I have zero issues with. And I just didn't understand, why is this a problem for you? Why are you so upset about me taking a couple days off to give myself some time and space? I didn't understand, like, why. I felt like you're doing it wrong. That was a bad decision. So, at that point, I think what I could have said is, and maybe even I don't know what I should have said, was, well, I guess I can't have this conversation right now. I didn't know that that's what this was going to be about, and I'm going to go ahead and mute myself. I'm going to get my little one a snack, and I'll be right back. Thank you. Click. But I didn't. I came out probably a little defensive, and I felt into that spikiness, and I responded from that place of spikiness, and I said, it's not that I don't believe you. I do believe that, a lot of it is mindset and, making a decision, but it's not a simple flipping a switch, which is another phrase that she is, flip the switch, get off the wheel. I can't just flip the switch and it's fine. Like, I don't need time and space. It's not going to be that easy. I do believe that I can get to that place if I wanted to. And again, if I even wanted to, which I don't. I'm really happy with the way I'm living my life right now. And yeah, so I did say, I do believe it's reachable. It's a mindset issue, but it's not a flip the switch. It's a practice, just like everything else. And it's something that I'm going to have to come back to. And if I'm, making an attempt to get off the wheel, I'm probably going to fall down several times, and that's okay. And so if there's disbelief in my voice that you're hearing, that's maybe where that's coming from, because I just don't believe that it's going to be as easy as you're, making it sound, or as I'm hearing it. So I was thinking, we're wrapping this up, right? No. Then it's another riff on how I need to be more compassionate with myself. And yeah, and that's when that comes in. Yes, of course it's a practice, and you need to be more compassionate with yourself. Oh my goodness. It was, especially, like, I know who needs to be more compassionate with me. So anyway, at that point, I was trying to wrap it up and putting all this, like, feigning this inspired, oh, yeah, I'm gonna mute myself now. Because I did not want to open or go down that hole any further. And that brings me to my practice today, because that incident, I mean, as you can tell, I had a lot of energy around that. It was something that I thought of, not even that I thought of. I felt like it was just like, I'm still here, right? Like, it is no wonder that we get trauma and emotions stuck in our body, because that was, I mean, in the big scheme of things, that was kind of a nothing. That was something that happened one morning that it's not like super traumatic. But because of everything else that was going on, I could not stop and process what was going on in that moment. And because I couldn't process that trauma in real time, it just got stuck. It didn't go away. It was just coming back up. So my practice today, I wanted to be with that, but not in like a thinking way. I didn't want to like, what could I have said? I just didn't want to go there. And so I just started by connecting to my breath and breathing into it, or just breathing into me. And then I brought forward that conversation, and not so much the conversation, but just like seeing me sitting there receiving that information. And as soon as I did, because I'm just like wondering, what is my physical response to that? And as soon as I did, immediately, tightness, contraction, I'm holding my breath, I can feel my lips pursing, tightness. And so I just like let myself feel that, and I'm just breathing into that, and I'm just saying, that's okay. Like you felt like it was like a communication thing. Like I was being misunderstood, and I didn't feel like I could communicate that. I didn't feel like I could communicate, listen, this is just going down a road that I did not anticipate. I'm turning my car around. Instead, I like just sat there trying to politely take it in, and just telling my body like where I'm feeling this, which is so much in my throat and my jaw. And I'm just breathing into that. And I'm just letting myself feel that. And I'm telling myself that's okay. Like, it's okay that you felt that. It's not stupid. It's not shameful. It's not silly. It's okay. And as I do that, it starts to lift. Like my throat starts to open up and my jaw starts to relax. And I feel like things are moving. And then, I just take some time, a lot of time, to just send loving kindness to myself for taking this. I was real proud of myself for showing up. I was real proud of myself. I am real proud of myself for taking the time and being reflective on all of this stuff that's happening for me, and feeling like I needed a couple days or whatever. I didn't say a couple. I just needed some time to reflect and integrate. And that's what I felt, and that's what I followed. And I'm proud of myself for that. And once I felt like everything had kind of started moving again, freely and with ease, I took some time to send a lot of loving kindness to everyone that was in that meditation group. To the woman who was guiding that meditation, who I'm sure was not trying to stir my pot. I acknowledged that I was triggered. You know, I think that also, you know, maybe I thought to myself, you know, maybe that was part of the question. Maybe it was like, just wondering how you guys are doing today, who needs some coaching around, you know, what's going on for them. But when I put my headphones on and I heard, how about you, Melissa? How are you? It wasn't like, how are ya? It was, how are you? Like, I didn't get the longer version about, and I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just saying that's a possibility, right? Like, I may have just been the one that was completely out of line. Although I don't think anyone was out of line. I think, you know, it was stuff that happened, right? Yeah, so all of these possibilities that I'm not aware of, plus all of the possibilities that I am consciously aware of. And even if that, you know, kind of was pounced upon me, look what it did, right? Like, even if that line of questioning or that coaching or whatever that was, I hesitate to call it coaching because I think of myself, right, as a coach, and I hope I don't do that. I don't like it. Coach without consent, right? But, you know, that was likely coming from a place of wanting me to just ignite some sort of like introspection, or I don't know, some deeper thing that I don't know. It's all possible. And I love everything that came up. I love it. It's all, nothing never happens, and a lot of stuff happened, and I'm just thankful. I don't know, I think I'm starting to ramble now. I'm just thankful for everything that came from that, even though it was really uncomfortable, it was offensive, it made me angry. I wanted to like yell at that woman. I wanted to leave the group. I was not going to come to another meditation. I mean, I had all of these thoughts and all of these feelings. And I'm just glad that I was able to take that time to process that. And again, it's how often do we have that much time? Or how often do we give ourselves time to process all these little things that come up? And that would have stayed in my body, and it would have just become older and more hidden and more painful. So I'm just thankful. Most of the time that's how these end, right? I'm just super grateful for everything that happened, and I'm super grateful for me, for giving myself this time and this space, because I need time and space, and that's okay. So I don't know what day I'm on. I usually end with that. So day something.